And we're live. Hey, Wayne, he's back with us. That's good to see.
I'm here. I just
welcome.
wanted I had to go to my laptop to change that photo.
No worries. So welcome, everybody, to BigGunner81 Live, presented by Applied Arsenal Finishes and Gunworks, BAT Arms, LLC. The range at 355, Eggleston Munitions, and Splinter Precision. So welcome, everybody. Hope you're all doing well tonight, as always. And I don't know, we might do a little shorter show tonight. I'm not sure. Kind of running out of steam a little bit today. But, hey, nonetheless, I want to welcome everybody. So we got here with us tonight, we got Wayne from Mighty Armory. Welcome, Wayne.
Hello, thank you, Rick.
Yeah, no problem.
Hi,
Thanks for doing this. And we got Ken and Scott is someplace in the background there from Liberty Marksman.
He's hiding. How's it going?
Welcome. Thanks for joining us. By the way, I like your complaint department grenade there. That must be a new addition.
I have no idea what you said.
I know, a bandwidth issue. Sometimes it happens with this and messes things up. But
Yeah.
Anyway, we also got Corey in the house with us again as well from Wild Beards. So welcome. So we're just going to kind of just do an open chat for a little bit here. Anything you guys want to discuss, you're welcome to discuss. So a couple things I had going on. You may have seen some of the Instagram and me talked about on the show before about it. I've got Laura's MP Pro here and got the Aries Tactical holster for it. It looks blue on here on the screen. It is actually purple. You can probably see on the Instagram photos we posted up with different things on it. Again, safety checked, no mag, etc., etc. We installed the Apex tactical trigger in it. Learned some cool things along the way. This is actually the first pistol trigger I installed, and believe it or not, and I thought it was kind of interesting. It is a really nice trigger. There's kind of like a couple different pieces to this trigger. First off, with the frame itself and the actual trigger, you got the flat face trigger. You got some different springs to install and so forth. It's not really that complicated to do, believe it or not. It's pretty simple. Press a couple pins out and so forth. There's videos online. The secondary part isn't real complicated either, but there is a couple steps you have to do. Inside the slide, there's like the striker block, or there's like a plunger basically on that slide on the inside, which I can take it apart and kind of show you. That'd be easier than me trying to explain it. So part of the Apex kit, you end up replacing, and I'm looking at this backwards on my screen, this little plunger right here. I think it's basically your striker block, kind of like a safety, so to speak. If it's one position, it will keep the firing pin from hitting a cartridge, I believe. Anyway, part of their kit, they changed that out and they changed the spring out that's behind it. In order to do that, you actually have to press the rear sight out of the slide, because there's like a little flat, I call it a coin, almost like a little flat cover that goes over the spring and holds the plunger in place. So, needless to say, first we did the trigger on it, the actual trigger inside the frame, and then I didn't have the tool for removing the time we installed it. So we went ahead and got a couple tools that were kind of interesting for doing this job. One of them is this Nickstar. It's actually Vism or something like that, or VISM. Here's the box from it. Kind of move it toward the center of the screen, sort of, if I can. Universal pistol rear sight tool. Anyway, basically it's a sight pusher. You can presses the sight on and off. And it's ironic because I know Nickstar is usually made overseas. It says on here, made or designed in the USA. Thought that was ironic, but getting some feedback on someone's end there for a second. But anyhow, it's kind of neat. They basically, your slide, fits in there, clamps down on it, it's adjustable. Has like these, I don't know if it's Delrin, some kind of polymer type jaws, so to speak, to keep you from damaging your slide and so forth. But it's also bench mountable. It's got holes in it, so you can mount it to your bench. Seemed to work really well for removing this one. Of course, I only used it the one time to take off this rear sight, but it worked really well, surprisingly. And I say surprisingly because Nickstar, doesn't have the best, highest quality ratings, I guess, behind them. But it looked like they had pretty good ratings on Amazon where we purchased it, and I figured to give it a try. And if it didn't work out, Amazon's got a great return policy, so I figured it was worth the gamble. Second tool wasn't a had to have, but it was a nice to have. Apex Tactical has this armorer's block, basically that works with your Smith & Wessons and your Glocks and so forth. It's adjustable. You loosen up these little guides, I guess you can call them, or retainers, or I don't know what the correct terminology is. And you can see it slides back and forth, so you can adjust it to your frame and everything. Now, it's not designed to put it in there with the slide intact. You take the slide off and you just put the frame into this and lay it down like a table, and you can use this, for example. Well, I had the slide off. I should have done this, but I can demo it either way. So just taking the slide off real quick and adjusting this so you guys can all see this. But yeah, you can actually lay it either way. It's kind of like a mirror of itself. Yeah. I had this laying here before. Here we go. There we go. Doing stuff live, you're always, you have a little more pressure on you to put things in place. Anyhow, there you go. Kind of like just adjust it and roughly to make it fit where it needs to fit. I think one of these little pockets somewhere on here is also for laying a trigger in place to work on it. It's got holes, I think, so you can drive the pins through it and so forth, and whatnot for the trigger, I believe. Definitely a nice tool. Not very expensive. I forget what the exact cost was, but I want to say it was somewhere between 20 or 40 bucks or something like that. Anyhow, after we got the top portion of this trigger kit installed, actually I did it at the same time. I take it back. After I got the actual trigger installed, I noticed that it felt still like there wasn't really much of a reset to it, meaning you don't have any type of positive click when the trigger resets. Kind of like if you ever shot like the M&P series, you basically after the point of the trigger breaking and you have reset, you bring your finger forward. You didn't really get a very solid like click that you can really indicate exactly where that trigger reset was. At least that's my opinion. Everyone's got their own sense of feel and whatnot on these things. So they have a kit, and I can't really show it to you because it's actually on the inside of this. But it goes inside the rear sear block, and what it is, it's a kind of like a plunger with a slot cut into it and a spring, and it's called the RAM kit. I think it's like a reset assisted mechanism or something like that. I can't remember the exact acronym, but what the idea behind it is once you have this trigger, when you're installing the trigger is really the ideal time to put in if you want to have this feature. It produces a tactile click. So, for example, go ahead and kind of see if I can show it. It's kind of awkward to do this, but so, pull the trigger, do the reset as it's still holding the trigger. You might be able to hear. I'll put it close to the camera so you can try to hear this. Not the buzzing on my phone, but I don't know if you heard that click. And that's where it reset. Before, I didn't really have that click on it. And I was kind of slightly disappointed in myself. I'm like, the trigger feels awesome. It works awesome.
There we go.
But you just don't have much of a reset to it. So, sorry about that. My phone was buzzing on me. So that's some of the stuff that I had going on this week so far. The other thing was we had got a chance to take the Gatling gun out and try that out as well. Finding a range, that's kind of experience too for that. Obviously, like trying to take that to an indoor range, it has a tripod set up on it, and therefore you have to be able to set it down on a bench top somewhere. And most indoor ranges, the bench top, we're going to call it, your shooting booth there, isn't very wide. So you really couldn't set it down there. So, outdoors, it's kind of like, who knows what the range is going to be like that you're going to visit. So we found an outdoor range that I believe it's like state owned. here in North Carolina. It's something that they put together with as a co-op with the sheriff's office, Department of Wildlife, and whatnot. And it's really well ran, and it's a really nice facility. I mean, the downside is, it's very similar to shooting at an indoor range where you have kind of like at least at the pistol and rifle ranges that we went to, which is a 50-yard range on the property. They have a 250 also, I believe. They basically have it set up with like booths, which is really nicely built, and it's got a really nice covered shooting area basically. Of course, you can't really do moving and shooting and do a lot of things you would do, otherwise. But it was, like I said, a really nice facility. Well, I came there, and me and Laura went up there and talked to him. I said, well, they had 2 range officers there, which was really nice. They want to kind of check out what kind of ammo you brought, just to make sure you're not shooting something you're not supposed to be. No steel case or armor piercing type stuff or whatever their rules are. But they also kind of want to see what firearms you have and whatnot, of course. So I thought it was kind of good to keep everybody safe and everything happy and wonderful. But I said, hey, I brought this with, allowed to shoot this year because, nothing said I couldn't. And I just wanted to find out before we pull out of the case. And I'm like, yeah, I have this 10-22 Gatling gun. And they're like, well, what? And I'm like, well, it's basically 2 Ruger 10-22s. And it's like a Gatling gun conversion that you can, basically has a hand crank on it. So yeah, let's check it out. That's really cool, And then they asked me, is it full auto? And I thought that was kind of funny because I'm like, no, I think isn't it like the Gatling gun technically, that's like the definition of a Gatling gun is it's not full auto. You have to crank it. So anyway, they were nice enough to let us shoot it and everything. First question was like, oh, is that going to erode our berm? And I'm like, And the other guy's like, no, it's just like shooting a 22, so that really shouldn't be a problem. I thought it was kind of funny, the questions they had. But again, really nice staff, really nice people. And we tried it out and went ahead and shot it. Did have some issues with some jams, partially with the cheap mags I brought with that I knew would probably have problems. And also I found that I had to make some adjustments to the kit too as well, where I had one of the rifles wasn't resetting and so forth. And it's not the rifle itself, it's just the way that you adjust the kit inside the I don't know what you call it, housing, bracket. It's kind of hard way to explain it, but inside the kit you have to kind of position the receivers just right to get the action to reset properly and the triggers to work. It's really kind of a strange setup where when you pull the trigger back on it, on the Gatling gun kit, the that trigger bar kind of like teeter-totters back and forth, where the cam from the opposite side is what's actually activating the trigger on the other side. So it's not like the cam that's right in line with that rifle is the one that's actually causing it to go off and everything. So
how did it shoot?
How did it shoot?
Yeah. So
other than the jamming and stuff, it was kind of fun. It's basically more of a spray and pray type of gun. I mean, yes, it has like this big, huge, sight. It looks like one of those anti-aircraft type like sights or something on it. Just because it's funny looking, but it's just you want to crank that thing really as fast as you can and just rip out as many rounds as you can. It's more of an accuracy by volume. It's not really a precision shooter, but it, relatively speaking, looking through the sight, it was shooting pretty close within, at 50 yards, I'm shooting somewhere within a couple, maybe like a foot or two, on each side, because you got to remember you got 2 barrels.
You got to hook the DeWalt up to that thing.
Yeah, and then I get to hook the cuffs up to my wrists, because technically, that's illegal to do that. But I think I mentioned that.
Hey, you're still pulling a trigger.
You are still pulling a trigger, but it technically makes it full auto. You actually have to pull two triggers to make that happen, technically, because you have to have the one on your drill and the one on your trigger. But no, I wouldn't suggest it, because that's an area that you're asking for trouble. But man, that would be fun. Yeah, definitely. Get that thing to run right and go ahead and do it. That would be really cool. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that there's probably an FFL somewhere that probably could do something like that, but I can't. So I'm just gonna have to enjoy cranking it, you know. But yeah, so I don't know.
You're still talking about the 1022s, right?
Yeah, 1022 Gatling gun. Yeah, right. So, what have you guys been up to over there at Liberty Marksman?
Nothing really.
No. No new.
No,
videos?
we've had a bunch of personal stuff going on, so all of our projects got put on the back burner for a little while.
I got you. Well, that sucks. What do you have coming up in the future that you know of?
We got a couple Berettas we're going to be doing some reviews on. We got that Cobalt Kinetics rifle.
Oh, awesome. Where do you guys get that from?
From Barry.
Oh, yes. Okay, cool. So you're probably using the same one that I got, or are you getting the team rifle?
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, you don't know yet?
It might be the one you used.
Okay, because yeah, I had their like that goldish colored one. I did the video on. That thing's pretty cool. It's a good for a little while to play with. It's a really nice rifle. You kind of start to look at what components go into that thing too, and you can see it's got like the beat and zone charging handle, and there's some other stuff too. I forgot all the exact details, but it is a nice rifle, no doubt. Premium. So I don't know if you guys are muted still, so I don't know if we couldn't hear you.
Did you ever throw optics on it when you shot it?
On the Cobalt Kinetics? If you're asking on the Cobalt Kinetics, I would say I think I just used my Bushnell TRS 25 or something down there, like just for a test. You know, I'll put a red dot.
Yeah, we're interested to see what the accuracy is like.
That would be awesome. Yeah, definitely. Fortunately, I didn't have the chance to do that because I don't think I had another scope at the time to use. Like now, I have a couple of options to work with because the only scope I actually had at the time of testing out that rifle was my Vortex Strike Eagle, and that was already zeroed on my 3-gun rifle. And I really didn't want to have to mess with that, so I think I just threw the red dot on there just to be able to go take it out and fire it and check it out. But now I also have an optic from Right-On and also from why is mine going blank? From Lucid Optics as well that I can use to try out for that kind of stuff. So maybe next time we'll see what happens. But yeah, we've just been busy with these projects here too as well. You guys got anything else that you're doing? Any events that you plan on doing this year?
Yeah, we're gonna try to get out to that bullpup shoot.
Manicorum.
And then we'll see about the Iraqi veteran shoot.
Yeah, we're set up for that one. The bullpup shoot, we're probably not going to make it, honestly, because I'm looking at, I have some other travel arrangements I got to take care of the weekend before. So I'm going to have to put that off, I think. But we are planning on going to Iraq Veteran 888. That's, for us now, where we're at now, we can drive to it. So that helps with, the costs. Because people realize we do like YouTube videos and different events and different things. Travel gets expensive. We got airfare and just hotel stays and everything else. So got to budget what I can do as far as time and money. So that's one. I'm probably
the return on those videos aren't too good.
No, honestly, it's not. You have to do this. You guys know this. You really have to enjoy this to do it. Otherwise, there's no purpose in doing it.
No, you're not making money off it.
Yeah, you got to have a passion for it. Otherwise, yeah, you're not going to get rich off of it.
Exactly.
And you're really not even going to break even for the most part.
No, camera gear is so expensive, as you know. Like, to talk about YouTube videos, like I think this thing behind me cost this side. I guess it was like a $600 camera or whatever it was. That takes a long time to recoup when you're talking about YouTube bucks. So yeah, you definitely don't really do this for making money off of it. You just do it because it's fun. It's like a hobby. It's some passion. It's something you enjoy, and so forth. So there's a lot of good YouTubers out there, and man, some of the videos you see coming out, and you guys do a great job with your videos, by the way. as
No,
well.
thanks.
It just, it takes a lot of time to do the editing and everything too that people don't consider.
The ammo's the killer part because
yes, tell
we
me
look at about 1,000 rounds per gun if we're going to give an honest review, and man, that just adds up fast. If it wasn't for reloading, I don't know what we'd do.
Right. What's that? He was muted.
Prime 223 right now.
Oh, nice. You know what? That's funny because I had people doing that too before we were doing the show, reloading. I think I've even done some of that too while we were live. That's probably what Wayne's doing right now, I bet. He's silent now, but for those who don't know, Wayne is from Mighty Armory, and they make some really nice dies for depriming. Oh, eating something?
I'm eating something.
Gotcha. No worries. But yeah, like Ken was mentioning, reloading when it comes to YouTube videos and trying to save money and whatnot is a definitely good way of doing that. Like with Laura shooting now too. I mean, she's been buying a lot of ammo and stuff, and I told her we gotta get you into we gotta set this bench up and get the reloading going. The M&P here really doesn't like the 115 grain like factory loads. I think she was running 124 or whatever grain, and then we tried the 147s in it. And this past weekend we ran a bunch of the Eggleston 147 grains. I loaded up a while back through it, and they ran really nice, and she liked them. And I go, well, I think that's what we should probably start loading for you then. We can get them all in purple for sure, So that would definitely be a big cost savings. I don't know if you guys ever tried these out. If Wayne or Ken, if any of you guys who do reloading, checked out egglestonmunitions.com for projectiles. But for those that don't know that are watching,
yeah, we've used them before.
you have? Have you guys think of them?
I haven't used them yet. Maybe you can send me a link. I can get a look.
We like them for plinking.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think they're good for plinking, competition use, and things like that. I mean, I've had pretty good results with them, and the price point is awesome. So, yeah, if you haven't checked them out, go to egglestonmunitions.com. And Wayne, they also is interesting, and I've tried out their first prototype of them, or first or second prototype when they're making rifle projectiles that are polymer coated, because these are polymer coated projectiles. They're pistol projectiles that are polymer coated are pretty common in a sense, but rifle ones obviously are not, and mainly for the speed of these things are traveling through the barrel and whatnot. The first ones that they had made, I tried them out. They worked really well, cycled really well. The two issues I saw were, one, and these were not available for sale. These were like, just try these out and see what you think kind of thing. The loading of them, you had to be really careful getting them centered just right into the casing. Otherwise, they would kind of catch on the edge of the casing, and then it would deform it, and then that one's scrapped. So I had a couple of those that I kind of ruined when I was loading them. Shooting at the range, they seemed like they smoked a little bit, but they weren't horrible for what they were. Now they're on a new one that they're, I guess, getting close to production on, and they, I think they're having much better results with whatever coating they're using now. But I haven't had a chance to try them because they're that new. So anyway.
So it's not a powder coat any longer?
Say again?
Is it, Rick, is it a different coating, or is it still a powder coat?
I'm not sure what the new coating is, but it's some type of polymer coating, I think, on the rifle rounds. The pistol rounds are all still the same from my understanding. They might have made some changes along the way, but generally speaking, it's the same coating, and they work really well. I mean, I don't see any difference in my accuracy between the factory loads and these for my pistol shooting. Of course, that could just be me, but I have no issues with them, and they're very inexpensive to load. I think the 115 grain ones, I think they run around 6 cents right now, maybe projectile. The 147 grains, I think, were closer to the 7 or 8 cents, something like that. And they sell them in bulk packs, and the shipping, they do flat rate shipping on it, so the shipping costs are not that bad for how much they cram in the box. So definitely worthwhile checking out if you're reloading and you shoot a lot of pistol rounds, especially. You know, and like I said, I've had good luck with them, and that's why I like to deal with them and everything and so forth. But yeah, we gotta get with YouTube videos and shooting lots of ammo and whatnot, and with Laura now getting into competitive shooting with me, we gotta start cranking out some reloads because within a couple weeks, not even a couple weeks, she went through like 1,000 rounds already just in her pistol, between the two pistols, and then now she's on to her second case she bought already, plus some of the miscellaneous ammo that I've had that she's used. But she's found something that worked really well in her pistol, and that's why she started buying that. You know, we just kind of what all of us do. We find something that works and kind of stick with it a lot of times. You know, whatnot. So yeah, that's most of that. And then we also did started playing around with the Korean Glock mags. Tell you what, this is one of the downsides to you know, shooting at indoor range. You know, if they have rules of, you know, no rapid firing, which a lot of indoor ranges do, there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm just saying that that's, you know, that was a rule. So the downside for me is that testing out a 50-round drum in a pistol cover carbine, it takes more, like, you know, if you're ripping off rounds, you guys know this, Ken. You know, for some of the videos you've done, when you're ripping off a bunch of rounds, you can empty out a mag in a couple seconds. Well, that's 30 rounds in a rifle, for example. Well, when you're doing this, you have to count your shots, like count, you know, at least a second or two between each shot. 50 rounds, actually 54 technically, takes a lot longer. Takes, you know, over a minute or so. But yeah, holding that rifle and doing that and like just shooting at the same target that's not that far away is really boring. But you get to test out that drum, and I think it had initially after like the 4th round, I think it actually had one jam there, and I believe it ran the rest of it all the way through. And ironically, it's not supposed to lock the bolt back, but the, for lack of a better term, the follower or dummy rounds that are inside the drum, because they have to be able to kind of make the curve, so they have these like dummy rounds inside of it, which is like, I don't know if it's made out of lead or like a zinc or what exactly. But the bolt actually caught it and kind of nicked it up a little bit, but the bolt actually stayed open most of the way because of that. It's very strange, but I have to load it up again and try it again and see what happens with it.
By the way, I've got that rare sight for you.
Oh, cool.
You can see it.
You said it was from Rhode Island, huh?
It's a nice sight, really. You know, built well.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to look up the brand, but it just lays back.
Nice.
You see it there.
But you said it was made in Rhode Island too, right?
No, not made here, but it is in Rhode Island, so I guess that's half as good.
Yep. Well, some of the components.
Is that going to work for you?
What's that?
Is that going to work for you?
Sure, we could use it on one of these builds. Yeah, I mean, sights are one of those things that are always like, you know, how I say it, like you don't always find them in every single state, but you have to have them to be able to test the rifle out. So I'm sure we'll use it on there. So, no, I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Corey, you're also kind of quiet too. So what else you got going on your end?
Well, let's see.
He's rubbing his beard.
Yeah, well, I've been doing that too.
He's got the bomb going.
Let's see. My leg hasn't healed properly since my surgery in May, so I am going under the knife again on Friday.
Oh man, that sucks.
So I'm looking forward to it.
How long are you going to be out for? Do they anticipate at this point?
This surgery is less invasive. All he's basically doing is he's cutting out the scar and the meat underneath it, and he's just going to check it out, make sure we get proper healing this time.
Oh man, yeah. I hope it all works out. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be at least I'll be able to walk out on my own this time.
Oh,
The last
Doesn't look like fun, brother.
yeah, thank you. You know, the last 3 leg surgeries I haven't been able to walk out of. So I'm looking, hopefully not for a 5th leg surgery, but if there is one, it will be next spring. So I hope there's not a 5th, but there's a chance that there could be.
Cool. I mean, I hope that all goes good. So is this from an injury or what happened, by the way?
I've had leg issues for the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. And we don't really know whether it's hereditary or I did it doing weight training. Basically, the muscles, the calf muscles in my leg got so big, they literally just overgrew and outgrew their compartment of the tendon. And it would cause severe inflammation and pain, and would not allow me to walk very far. And I eventually had to end up resigning from my position last year at my job. So during this last year, you know, I've started up Southern Style Beards, and I've started my ambassadorship with Front Style and stuff like that. And now we're just trying to get the beard company up and going. But you know, it's there. We don't really know a for sure reason as to why this has happened. Or happening to say, but you know, it's caused me to have to stop physical work. I was working as a supervisor in a Kroger warehouse, and it's cost me my job. It's cost me a lot of family time because I can't go out and do anything. So I mean, the reason why I want to try to get all these surgeries done while I'm young is because, you know, when my wife and I plan on starting a family, you know, I want to be able to have that mobility to be able to go on evening walks with my children and do family stuff in the park. And you know, for the last several years, I haven't been able to do any of that. So
That's unfortunate.
yeah, I mean, this is something that's been happening for. I think I first noticed it in like 2013, and when I first met this surgeon, it'll be 2 years this December coming up, and when I first met him, I knew something had to be done. But as soon as he saw me, he was like, "I can't believe that you haven't ruptured your ACLs in both your legs yet." And my calf muscles were, if you can put a feature or a look on them, they were bigger than a bodybuilder's leg, like calf muscle if they're in a show. It was so defined and so beautiful. I guess it was the best looking feature on my body, and it's gone now.
Oh man!
But that's okay. I mean, I'm able to do a little bit of walking now, and hopefully I'll be able to do some more long distance walking. I'll probably never be able to run again, but I've never been a runner anyway. But it's a good thing I've got my gun license, you know. So I'm never going to run from a gun fight because I can't run.
Wow. Hey, well, at least if you do want to get into competitions, you can come do like the steel challenge matches.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I won't be doing any 2-gun or 3-gun. Yeah, I won't be able to do any running, but you know, it's definitely hard, and it's been a process. You know, I've got one really nasty, wicked looking scar on my right leg. It goes from the side of my calf muscle all the way down to the bottom of my foot, and it's.
So does the ice or a heat help with the pain?
No. It's all internal.
So it's not. There's no swelling going on.
There's swelling and inflammation going on the inside, but
Right.
a lot of heat and cold doesn't really penetrate inside internally because it's so deep.
Right.
when this last surgery in May, he was cutting through some fascia, and it normally your fascia is about, if you were to hold up a piece of paper into the light, you could see, you can see light through the paper. The fascia in my leg was so thick that if you held it up to the light, you couldn't even see through it. So it's there, and it's really weird because he calls me his little monster because I'm such an anomaly. It's a case that's never really been seen before. They can't really pinpoint as to why it's happening, what caused it, and there are procedures for certain kind of diagnoses, and mine is like in between. They don't really have like a diagnosis for this problem. So, but the surgeries are to help other problems with kind of the same thing.
So you've got to deal with a lot, and that's not going to stop range.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to. I'm back in school now, so I'm focusing on my education, my business. I've had a lot going in this last year. Hopefully, these surgeries are winding down and coming to an end.
Right on. Exactly.
Well, naturally, we all wish you the best, brother.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly. So, interesting stuff. We always do get on different topics from time to time here. So, besides guns and whatnot, so I do some medical help.
Hey, I need to try to get out to the range before I get back into school, and definitely right after I get healed up. So
nice. Yeah, we've had one of the conversations we had a while ago was related to like shooting competitions and things we can do to kind of like health wise, with snacks. If you go out to what you should bring out to the range for snacks and water and like some other prep type stuff that we should be doing. I thought those kind of things. So we touch on different topics, that are kind of somewhat related time to time, but interesting stuff. So really, I hope that everything goes good with the surgery and everything for you. And
yeah.
So that's cool. And how's the reloading going over there, Scott?
I'm doing good.
Yeah. Nice. So what are you guys? What is your like your go-to projectiles and stuff when you're reloading? What's some of the stuff that you use, I guess? And powders.
On the 223, we usually use the Z-Max.
I'm sorry, you said Z-Max?
Z-Max, A-Max, whatever we can get on sale.
Gotcha. Hey, did you see, Wolf? Like, for projectiles, like if you're really stealing for plinking and just like that kind of sort of thing.
We've gotten that bulk wolf stuff before just for plinking.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say because I actually bought.
Yeah, the wolf is pretty good.
Yeah, you can't beat the price on that, and then the same with their primed brass.
Oh, I haven't seen their primed brass yet. That's interesting. I didn't see their primed brass yet. I'll check it out. But I've got a ton of brass that's I got actually that's 223s and stuff, but just didn't have time to work on loading them up yet. I found someone else. Sorry, go ahead.
We actually found a guy that you can send your brass to, and they do all the processing. And on the 223, they even do the knock out the crimp. And it's like $35 per 1,000 rounds. So you get it back sized, all ready to go. You just got to prime it, powder it, and
that saves a lot of time.
Oh yeah,
it's a huge time saver.
Yeah, if you're
and that's $35 with the return shipping.
35 with the return shipping. Wow, that's awesome. I've already did a bunch of it. Otherwise, I'm thinking, I've got a bunch that's sitting in Illinois that needs to be done. That hasn't been processed yet.
Hey guys, I'm curious. Are they cut or are they swaged?
I believe they're
They
swedged.
take those crimps up. They are? Yeah. What kind of machine are they using?
That I couldn't tell you. I have no idea.
Okay. I was curious.
Yeah, me too. I'm wondering.
They might be using my stuff, you know.
Oh, really? Cool.
Possible.
Yeah, check out Lady Armory, Ken and Scott. See what he's got going on there. He's got some pretty cool stuff. So, yeah, I just been doing it myself because of saving money. But yeah, $35. You can't if they're doing it right. That's hard to beat.
The amount of time
Yeah,
and the
35 bucks
steps.
a thousand.
Oh, it's well worth the $35.
Well, I don't have a trimmer other than like one I can put in a drill. And then I gotta check each one manually. So, you know, for me, you know, if I was gonna buy like the Dylan trimmer, for example, I forget what that costs. A couple $100 maybe. I don't remember. The Dylan case trimmer that you put inside your progressive press or whatever. I'd love to have one of those, but then at the same token, how many thousands can I get done and processed and totally finished too? That's something to consider. Yeah, there's just so many different
We got
options.
the Franklin Armory, or Frankfurt Armory trimming tool.
I don't know if that's coming through my end of the echo or what. It might be.
It's probably on our end. I was saying we got the Frankfurt Armory trimming tool, and then we use the, if we're doing it ourselves, and then we got the Dylan swedging tool.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, well,
That's the tabletop swaging tool that Dylan that using.
Yes.
Yep, one pull, one swedge.
Yeah. How do you like it?
It sucks.
It takes forever. I mean, it works
No,
good.
that's why I asked you. It's a $100 piece of shit.
It's only with
I like your honesty.
Hey, you know, honesty's the best policy. You know, it's what makes you money. Listen,
uh-oh, we lost them. I don't know what happened there. Cut out right away. Send a message. Anyway, yeah, hopefully they'll jump back in. I don't know.
Hey, what's his company name again?
Mighty Armory.
one more time.
You broke up a little there.
Mighty Armory.
Perfect, thank you.
Yes. If you're say it slower, not just because with this bandwidth stuff, I know we have some issues. There you go. He's back.
just when we started having fun, right?
Yeah, because I was like, what happened? So you might be able to see that logo on his right there on his die if you guys can see that.
Yeah, let me get it here. I got it. Okay.
Picture of Mighty Armory. And you're actually looking at sometime not too long off in the future doing die sets as well for like resizing, if I remember right.
Yeah, we should have a sizing die ready in about 6 weeks.
Oh wow,
And then the bullet seater should follow about 2 to 3 weeks after that.
that's cool. I'm gonna be looking at getting a 223 die at some point because the ones I've been using, nah.
Stuck cases?
Yeah, stuck cases, and
Yeah.
no matter what lube I've been using, I've been having issues with it. No matter if I polished them beforehand or not, or whatever, I mean.
What die are you using now?
We actually researched just about everything you could possibly research. And we know why cases get stuck. And when we come out with the sizing, it's going to be a thing of the past.
Well, yeah, to answer your question there, Ken, I've been using Hornady die sets.
Same here.
Yeah, I mean, they're okay. I mean, I'm not having any huge complaints. Just the 223s I've had issues with. I have my second die set now from them because of that. But they've always had good. I was gonna say, sorry, I had a distraction here. Yeah, but I always had good success with them. I had a good reputation behind them and everything, and they also had good customer service and whatnot. And in fact, one good thing I will say about that, I had actually sent in a priming tool, believe it or not. That same one that I think you're using right now there, Scott. Bought it off of our friend Brendan, actually, and he was missing one of the springs for it, and I sent an email to them and said, hey, can I buy one of these springs? So I think there's a difference between I think if it's like large primers and small primers or something, I forget. But there's a difference in the springs there. It's been a while since I've used it, as you can tell, because I've got the progressive press now. But initially, when I first started reloading, I had just the single stage press, and I was using that same hand primer. And yeah, the spring was missing from it. Contacted them to see if I could order one, just the spring. They said, just send us the unit. We'll send you a whole new one back. And they said we'll send it to us, and we'll get it taken care of. Sent it in. They sent me a whole brand new unit. I was like, wow, that's cool. You know, you could have just sent me the spring for it, or the two springs. I didn't know which one it was out of the two or whatever, but they sent me a whole new one. I thought it was pretty cool. So that's one thing I will say, you know, and so forth. But otherwise, no big complaints on it.
So you're talking about.
Say again.
You're talking about their customer service.
Yeah, the customer service has been really good.
I don't think any company in this industry that's worth anything or that's familiar has bad service.
Yeah.
You know, I'll give you an example. There's one company that sends pins out regularly every day. Depriming pins.
Yeah.
They'll send you as many as you need all year long. But the problem is you shouldn't have to wait a week in between doing the task.
Right.
Services, if the product isn't just as good, what good is it?
True. That's true.
Right?
Yeah, you want it to last and hold up and everything and all that, for sure.
You got that right.
So it kind of goes hand in hand. You want both.
Rick, as we speak, there's 3 machines, 1050s going with Mark 7 devices. Okay? Working 40,000 rounds between right now and morning.
Nice.
In Mississippi. In Mississippi.
Nice.
It's been going now for about 4 hours, not one stoppage.
That's awesome.
You bet your ass it is.
Yeah, you gotta get some video of that thing running it with it.
I'm bragging, man. Oh, you're gonna see videos tomorrow. They'll be all over the web.
That's cool. Send me the links to it and I'll share it. That'd be awesome to see. So is he actually loading them on that, or is he just doing the process of processing the cases like that overnight?
He's actually going to do loading, but the first step obviously is that primer.
Yeah, so he's just running overnight.
Excuse
basically.
me. He's gonna deprime, then clean, and then go from there.
Gotcha.
So right now he's depriming 40,000 crimped military cases as we speak.
So is it just running automated overnight?
Going for 4 hours straight now, one stoppage.
But is it running overnight, or is it just someone watching it the whole time?
I don't know what his time is. He's got 3 machines going, so.
Gotcha.
Not positive.
Huh? That's pretty cool.
He just called me though. He just called me.
Awesome.
To it.
No, that's cool. That's really cool. So some of these machines, to watch them too, the automated stuff, you know, even though they're loading machines that are just, you know, one solid press where you got a bar and it's got all the different pieces, and you watch it go in from the beginning, and at the end the whole loaded case just, you know, loaded round drops out. Those things are just pretty cool to watch, you know. It's like a linear progressive press versus like a traditional, you know, pull handle style press that's been converted to be automated. But man, I'd love to have one of those setups. Actually, I have a friend who has one, and he was asking me before I moved on. He's like, "You got to come over and do a video review on this thing." It's pretty cool. You can come over and do some of your cases, what do you got to do and stuff. And you know, he's got it set up so you can do automated depriming and case trimming and all that stuff with his Dylan. I'm like, that's fun. You know, get things done quicker, not to mess with it. But that's a tough thing too now. Like when they just mentioned $35 to have it fully processed 223 rounds done for 1,000. You know, versus the time, and you have to still babysit that whole thing, getting your brass processed.
Well, you know, it's not just about money for a lot of guys. It's about the hobby itself. Not those. In fact,
that's true.
A couple of the big brass dealers that I know sell more dirty brass than they do ready brass. So a lot of guys want to do their own.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look how popular these stainless steel tumblers have become.
Yeah.
People are processing them. You know, they're all buying all kinds of.
Sometimes it's just kind of fun and relaxing to do some of the steps of reloading and all that too. So, but cleaning, it does take a lot of time. So if your time is limited, I can get where you can kind of cut that out with at least the prep part of it,
Yeah.
and then you can get to the remainder of it.
Well,
So.
if you're shooting 1,000 rounds a week, maybe it works. But for the average guy now,
Yeah.
he wants to do his own. He wants to get away from the business, like face it.
Yeah. So, anyway, I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to throw out there before you kind of wrap things up, I think, here.
Yeah, I mean, we agree with that, too. Reloading as a hobby, its own hobby.
Absolutely.
It's when your back's against the wall and you need a ton of ammo right now because you're finally going to get a clear range today to make some videos.
Yeah, that's true. That's why you got to have a stockpile of stuff, man. You know?
Who doesn't?
Yeah, I know. I have all my ammo cans. So, yeah,
Nice
when I get reset up to my reloading again, I can get back at it and start filling some of those up some more. But, yeah, it's ironic when I talked to a friend of mine a while back who used to do a lot of competitive shooting back in the day. He said, yeah, like if I have less than 8,000 rounds, of 9mm stashed away, I start getting anxious to start loading more, and you can see why, because you can go through it so quickly, especially if you're doing videos or shooting matches, anything that's high volume shooting, you can burn through it pretty quick. So yeah, but anyhow, that's all I got for tonight at this point, and I don't know if Corey, if you got anything else you want to throw out.
I'm good, man.
Awesome.
I'm just I'm thankful and lucky that you have me on here every week. I love meeting all you guys. This is awesome. I talked to Wayne, and right after he put his new, your new die on the website. So everybody we have on here, I love talking to. I learn so much every week. So Rick, thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, no problem. And that's that's what we have everybody come on, because we want to help share some information, share some opinions and some thoughts and ideas around firearms, Second Amendment, and any of that. Competitive shooting,
Rick,
tactical shooting.
Rick,
yes.
Rick, you can always count on me to tell you one thing.
What's that? Yes, that's cool. No, I appreciate it, and thank you again. If you got anything else you want to add to it before we wrap up.
I'm good.
Wayne.
Awesome. And Ken, Scott, you guys got anything?
No, thanks for having us, man.
Oh, yeah, definitely appreciate it. Hopefully we'll get to see you guys soon, maybe next month. We'll see.
Yeah, next time you're in town, man.
Yeah, we'll definitely be stopping by the Range 35 when I'm back for a really fast weekend type deal. And got some stuff there I got to take care of, and hopefully we can link up. So, yeah, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. I appreciate everybody out there joining us tonight and watching. And for those of you that maybe are not watching us live and you're watching us next week or during the day or whatever, thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, comments, put them in below the video. Once this is not live, those will show up. But anyway, appreciate you all watching, and as always, till next time, have fun shooting.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks,
Goodbye.
guys.
Goodbye.